Good afternoon, ladies. I think it's afternoon. I'm not really sure. I just wanted to share with you the projects that we are doing. It would have done in class if I had come to Portland, and the ones that we will be doing in Prineville. As you know, my husband Sam had knee replacement surgery, so I don't feel right about leaving him overnight to come to Portland, and I'm sorry, but I'm sure he'll be fine by June, and we'll be together at June. So I wanted to start out by showing you the cards I made for my hostesses, and I'm using, well, as you can see, that paper is just absolutely beautiful. And I made 4 cards as I usually do. And I made 3 of each for all of my hostesses. And this is called, it's a cute name, it's called the Stack, Cut, and Shuffle. So what you do is you will cut, and I have the directions to show you how to cut them. And then you have however many cards you want and however much you want to cut. Then you can put them on different ways and make them look different and use up all the parts and everything. So I made 3 of each one for all my hostesses, and these are the ones I used. I used the Sun Prince. I used the Wash, I don't remember that one, Hues of Happiness, and then the Tea Boutique set. So these are the ones that I will be sharing with my hostesses. So I just wanted to share that with you, and so you could see them. And I will send you a PDF with all the directions and of everything that I'm going to show you today. So to start out with, I'm going to be using the the Fern embossing folder. This embossing folder is just literally beautiful. And the one thing I love about it is that you can emboss it or deboss it, and either one will work really great. So I'm going to show you some I did, and then there's the cards, and then I'll just show you how I did it. So I started out with this, and this is the embossed, and so this is the one that is puffed up, and then this is the debossed, and so then it is down in, I don't even know how to explain it, but embossed and debossed on each side. And then here are some of the colors that I did. I did different colors because it would just look good on anything. Of course, green, green ferns, that's perfect. But artistic license, we can do purple, and we can do the Tahitian tide, and then this is the Starry Night, and both debossed and embossed. So if you can see those, it's really, really cool. So then that's just running it through regularly. Well, then I did I took the Starry Night and I added ink directly to the embossing folder. And that's what I'm going to show you. But here it is on the debossed side and the embossed side, so you can put color on either way. This one I actually ran it through, and then I took my blending brush and I blended it after I had run it through. And then I used a vellum, and that turns out just very pretty. That's just plain vellum. And this is this one I ran through with the ink in it, and then this is the card that I made. This is the debossed side, and this is the card that I made, and it just turned out so pretty. And then this is the one I'm going to show you today. So one card is embossed, and the other is debossed. So the ink will go down into whichever side you do. So I will show you that. So we'll start out with, I'm going to add some ink to the embossed side, and the embossed side is the one with the Stampin' Up! logo on it. And I don't know if you've noticed lately, but Stampin' Up! Has added a line so that when you put your paper in, it matches exactly. I mean, you can line it up perfectly, and that is really cool. Oh, what did I do with my paper? Oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm using a blending brush, and I've used these a bit in class, and they are so cool because you don't need 50 colors, 50 blending brushes for each color. All you need is one, like say for dark greens and blues, and then one for light greens and blues, and one for oranges and yellows. And so once you've used it, and you just rub it on your paper, you can just rub that out, and you can just go ahead and use it the next time. So I'm going to start by inking up, and I want it to be a good ink because I want it to show. And so I'm inking up the actual embossing folder. And you're thinking, you're ruining your embossing folder. No, you just run it under the, it's classic ink. It's water based. So you just run it under water, and once you do that, it'll come right off. So I've got it. As you can see, I'm trying to cover the whole amount, the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to put this away because I know me, and I'll mess it up. So here is the piece, and I'm going to put this in here. Just gently lay it down. And then I'm going to bring in my die cut and embossing machine, and I'll run it through. And for the 3D embossing folders, you're going to need one, and then you're going to put your, oh, my thing. And then this will go here, and then you'll use the gray plate, which is number 4. And that is right on the platform, so you can, it's easy to see. So now I'm just going to run this through, and now we have it embossed, so you can see the light hint of the ink, and I just think that's so pretty. So I'm going to put this card together real quick for you. And, oh, and I forgot my, no, I don't have it here. Okay, that's okay. So I'm using soft succulent, and but first we're also using evening evergreen. And so I'm going to attach that to the evening evergreen, which really brings out, since I used evening evergreen ink, it really brings it out. And then I'm going to apply add a ribbon, and just I'm just going to tie it into a knot. I hardly left enough for myself, but we'll get it. Oops. Didn't have my tongue quite right. I think I need just a little bit more on this side. Of course, I can tie these fine. Nobody's watching, but when someone is watching, then I'm all fumble fingers. Okay, there we go. And then this will be adhered to the front of the soft succulent. Let's make sure that's straight. There we go. And that will go on here. And then I stamped hello there, and that's from, can't think of the name of it now. Oh, here it is. This stamp set. It's called Nature's Prints, and actually the Fern die, Fern embossing folder is in this suite. So this is the stamp that I'm using. And I'm going to put that right there. And there we go. Oh, and we have to put this inside. I have to make sure I get the white inside. So that's my first demo. So there's many things you can do with this. You can use the blending brush to add it. You can actually take the ink pad and go over it. Just ink directly to your, so I could go like this and ink directly on. And it would be a lot darker. So you can do that. You can also use sponges. You can use mini daubers. And so anyway, that's my first demonstration for you. And my second one is a real fun one, interesting one. And I do have all the directions in the PDF file. And what I'm going to show you is something called the twisted ribbon technique. So this is the card I'm going to show you. And what it is you can see the ribbon. It looks like ribbon. And we'll do this separately and then apply it to the card. And I've done that with, this is the Hues of Happiness paper. And you can see the colors, all the colors that are in that. And then I also did one that I used Granny Apple Green and did the same thing and used some fresh freesia. And then the teacup set, which is one of the first, I think it is the first one in the new catalog. I did it with, here's again, the really cool twisted ribbon. And then you'll also use the New Horizons DSP and made this one. I saw this on Pinterest and I just thought it was gorgeous. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's not hard. In fact, it's very simple once you see the technique. So to start out with, I have a piece of paper that is cut 2 inches by, and I think it's 5 and, let me measure it because I'm not, 5 1/4, 2 by 5 1/4. This is the card that we're going to be making. So I put this on the inside here on this card. So 2 by 5 1/4. And I am going to take and make little marks every 3/4 of an inch. So I'm lining this up on my paper, on my grid paper, and I'm going to make a little tick mark, and you don't have to worry, these tick marks will be covered up. So I'm marking it every 3/4 of an inch. So 1, 2, 3, 3/4, and then 3/4, and then 3/4 again. And then I'm going to turn it and do the same on the other side. And you can use a pencil, but I of course didn't bring a pencil. It's over on the other side of the room. So I'm making tick marks at every 3/4 of an inch. So we've got 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, and 3, and 3 1/4, and 4 1/2. I think I did it wrong. I'm going to turn it over. I think I did it wrong on the one. So it's 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, 3, 3 3/4, and 4 1/2. And then I'm going to turn it and do the same thing. Hopefully get it right this time. 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, and 3, 3 3/4, and 4 1/2. So now you can see my little tick marks. They're even on each side. So now I have cut, if you cut 4 to 6 pieces of designer paper, one that is a little less showy, one that will be a good background, and then one that will be the front part of it. It will show up. And we're going to start with this, and we're going to line it up, and it'll go over each side, but we'll cut that off later. So you're going to start by this corner and then going over to that corner. So like that. And then we'll have another piece that goes from the next tick mark, and we'll go in between the next 2 tick marks like that. And then we're going to go the next one. So you want to keep them at the same distance. And I think okay. There we go. And there we go. And then another one that is like that. And then another one that's like, well, we don't need another one because we'll have this one. Then we're going to put, that goes in there. And then we're going to put this one, and it's going to be starting down here. I still don't have that quite right. So let's do it just a little bit better. So we're going to go here and here on this side of it. And of course, it's been 2 days since I did this, you know. And then this one right here, and this one right here, and this one right here. So before I put those down, then I'm going to put these on top, and this will go, we'll start down here, and we're going to go this corner to this corner. So it's going to go like that, and like that, and I'm shaking, so they're moving. And that will go to this one. And then this one will go like that. So you kind of get the idea, but now we'll put them together. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm just using snail, and I'm going to start from here to there, and from here to there, and from here to there, and from here to the corner. Okay, then we're going to start with these, and we're going to go from this corner up to that corner. And this corner up to that corner. And that up to there. And this one to the corner. Let's see, is that right? Yeah. Okay, so now, if I'd have been smart, I would have brought my silicone mat. And now I turned it over, and now I'm going to cut off the excess. So just run the scissors right along and cut off all the excess. And we'll get that all cut off, and then we'll have our focal piece that we can add to our card base. So, see, isn't that cool? I just think it just is the neatest technique. And so I'm going to take my card base, and I'm using fresh freesia, and this is actually 6.5 by 5.5 because I cut off. So I'm going to put this down inside, and then I'm going to put that over it here. So that'll fit right there, and then when you close it up, you can see it. So There. Isn't that cool? Now I added a strip to this side at the suggestion of Rebecca, because she said it needed something, which I agreed totally with her. So I added a strip of the same paper right there. And then I cut these out. Now in the Hues of Happiness, paper, designer series paper, there is actually dies that will cut out the flowers from the paper. So I'm just going to add these here, and I'll put this one down here. And so I have to make sure I don't go over. So I'm just going to stick this one here, and then this one will be underneath. I'll just stick that under there, and then and then this one will be attached here. And then I've got a couple of leaves to put in, so I'll put that right in there, and then another one down here, and it will actually kind of, yeah, there we go. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. And then I'm going to put the happy birthday that is from the same stamp set. And that's good. Oops, upside down. And that will go right. No, I don't want this on there because that's gonna, oh boy. Take that off, and we'll just put it like this. There. Isn't that beautiful? I just think it's just turned out so pretty. So that's the twisted ribbon technique. That's a lot to say. So now I'm going to show you the projects that we will be doing in class, or would have done in class. And I will be sending my Portland people, I'll be sending you the completed cards if you want them, or the kits. If you would prefer the kits, let me know. So this is using the Grassy Grove, and I found this online, and I truly fell in love with it. I just think it's the greatest layout. So the deer is here, and then here is some white, and then I have put the New Horizons Designer Series paper there, and then you open it up, and it has the inside. Sometimes you need to know that someone really cares, that someone is me. Isn't that gorgeous? I just think that is just beautiful. So, okay, I'm going to show you how I put that together. Get all my stamps and paper out. I think that's everything I need. I hope that's everything I need. I'll stick that down there. So first of all, I ran, and I'm going to do this for everybody. I ran this through the embossing, die cutting and embossing machine with the die. And this die is, of course, very beautiful. And then when you get ready to put this on, what you're going to do is this is going to open from left to right. And then you're going to want to put this here. It'll go on it will show through on the front. So we'll mount that first. And that will go here. And then we will mount this in here. But before I do that, I'm going to do my stamping, because you really should stamp first, because if it messes up, which I've been known to do a few times. So we have this big stamp that is the ground, and so I'm stamping that there, and then I'm going to stamp it again on the other side. And then I have the trees, and I'm going to stamp them, and I'm using Old Olive, and I'm going to stamp them here, and I'm stamping them one full strength, and then I'm going to go over and stamp a second one that is it's stamped off, and it makes it look like they're in the background. So I'm going to stamp that, and then, oops, and then I'm going to stamp off. And I forgot to put the trees. So on this paper here, I actually used the small one, and I put this here and here, and then I put a couple of trees on it too, so that when you open it up, you see that. And then the sentiment is here, and I put this on a little bit cockeyed, and so I try to, yeah, okay, I'm getting it. Oh, that turned out good. I hate that when I do that, and I do it once in a while. So now this will go in the inside of the card, and it will be attached here. Make sure that the left opening is on the left, and then you open it up, and then we'll put the little deer. We'll just add some, let's see, yeah, add a little bit of adhesive there and stick him right there. Isn't that cool? And it's very, very simple to do. Really, really. I mean, so simple it's almost, well, we won't talk that way. So that's the first project for class. And my second one is called the floating technique. And this is really a cool, I'm going to put these out of the way or I'll get ink all over this project. Okay, so the card for this one is, we're going to be making this card in blue, and I made a couple of them. So this card, and we're going to be making the purple one, and then here is the blues. So this is Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, and Gorgeous Grape. And this one is Bermuda Bay, Pool Party, and Coastal Cabana. And then I also made the square one, and I used Cajun Craze curry, crushed curry, and pumpkin pie together. Aren't those just gorgeous? And the neat thing about this is you mount these on window sheets, and it almost looks, you can't tell if you put them on dimensionals, it looks like they're floating out there because you can't really see the window sheet. And even I've taken pictures, and it almost has a silvery look to it. It's just really pretty. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we'll start out with a piece of window sheet that's 3.5 by 3.5. So I'm just going to put them on randomly, and I'm going to start this top one right at the top. And then when you put on the next one, you leave less than 1/8 between. So I've cut these at 1/2, 3/8, and 1/4. So this one will be next, and I'm just leaving just a tad bit of just a small space between each one, about less than 1/8, not quite a bit bigger than a 16th. Just really, so I think I'm going to do this one next. And then this one. And that will go right there. And then this one is the last one. And I've got it a little bit larger than I need, but it's better to be okay. So now I'm going to take my largest layering circle die, and I'm going to layer that here and cut it. and I'm cutting it with the die cutting and embossing machine. And I know I forgot something, so I will run and get that. It's just across the room. I forgot my my taller one, and because it's a window sheet and it's very and it's thick with the cardboard, I'm going to add a shim underneath. Let's see, what did I do with my other? So I have a shim somewhere. I don't know where I put my, oh, here it is. Here's my shim. So I'm just using an extra piece of cardboard, and I'm going to put that shim underneath here, and then I'm going to line this up and put in my, so I'm going to put that in there. I hope you can see that. I hope that's visible. And I'm going to line that up there, and then I'm going to run it through, and I'm going to run it through 3 or 4 times because I do want it to be, I want it to cut clear through. If it doesn't, I can always cut it off, but I really want it to cut clear through. Okay. I'm going to pull that out just a little bit farther, but then that'll probably make it easier for you to see. Okay. What's wrong here? Oh, nothing. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to get it to go through. Oh, I know what I'm missing. I'm missing my number 2. Ah. Just a minute. I'll find it. It's down here. Yeah. You wouldn't believe, but you guys make me nervous. Okay, so now I'm going to put this under, and I forgot my number 2, the little thin die adapter, or thin whatever it's called. And now I'll put that there so you can see it. Okay, now we're ready. Now I've got it together, hopefully. So I'm going to run it through, and it's kind of hard to run through, but it'll do it. You can hear it. I'm going to run it through back and forth twice just because I want to make sure it gets cut through. Okay, that should work. And sure enough, it did. It did. Okay, so all you have to do is take scissors and just trim that off. Okay. Very good. Got that. Okay, now we're ready to put the card together. So I'm using the basic white thick cardstock, and then I'm going to, I've cut this with the gingham embossing folder. And that will go here. And then I'm going to take dimensionals, and I'm going to, got a little something from the machine on that. So I'm going to take dimensionals, and be sure and put dimensionals just on the, behind the pieces, because you don't want them showing through. It'll ruin the floating effect. So I'm just going to put those right there, and I'll put one here in the middle just to make sure we've got a good, okay. And this goes here. And now you can see, I don't know, maybe you can't, but maybe you can see that it's floating. And then I'm going to be using the Amazing Thanks. I cut those out, and I'm actually not doing any stamping on this. This is just, Oh dear. I'll have to get another one. This is driving me crazy. Okay. This will work because I keep it upside down. Okay. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue to glue this to the backing, which is, this is done in white and that one is done in Gorgeous Grape. It gives it a wonderful little look, little shadow behind it. So here's the thanks in Gorgeous Grape, and then this one is done in white. And if you don't want to stamp, you don't have to. You can just do this and it's perfect. And I didn't get enough glue on that one, so I'll add just a little tiny bit more there. And that's there, and then I'll add some more glue here. I'm actually going to, in class, for our Prineville class, I'm actually going to cut these out and put the adhesive sheets on it, so it'll be easy to put down. So now I'm just going to add the thanks right there. And then I'm using the brand new dots, glitter dots, and they have them in Gorgeous Grape. So let's see, where do I want them? I think I'll do one here and one here, and then one up here. There, isn't that cute? Oh, I think it's so cute. I just love this technique. This one I use the Hive embossing folder on, and then this one I use the painted something, and I use the Nature's Harvest stamp set. Cut it out and put it on, and I just did it in a rectangle, and it still looks like it's floating. So those are my projects, our projects for this month. And again, I will see you in June, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.